السؤال الأهم ليس ما هو الإبداع وكذا، كيف أصبح أكثر إبداعا. ومن خلال هذا السؤال نعرف أنني أنا وأنت وكلنا مبدعون، شئنا أم أبينا. هذا خلق الله. لكن بعضنا أكثر إبداعا, are more creative than others. The question is how? How can I be more creative? وهنا بيت القصيد. This is why we're here today. We want to be, better, creative. ما هي كلمة ذكرها؟ المغامرة والمخاطرة. Exactly. To be a creative or a better creative person, you have to develop your daring. الجرأة. الجرأة في ماذا؟ حتى في التفكير. هل لديك الجرأة أن تأخذ ذهنك وتضعه في مكان جديد غير معتاد or not? Do you have this or not? So you need to develop this. And you ask yourself, do I have the daring or not? I want you all. خذ ذهنك الآن وحاول تضعه في مجال لم تفكر فيه من قبل. Anything. Which means going outside the box. Okay? The box, what is the box? من يقول لي ما معنى كلمة box؟ ماذا نقصد بالbox؟ حد التفكير. ممتاز. يعني التفكير العادي الذي نحن معتادون فيه حسب نشأتنا وحسب تعلمنا وحسب العائلة التي أخذنا منها معلومات أشياء كثيرة. But this is the box, right? The traditional way, the conventional way, right? لكن we need the daring to sometimes go outside these conventions, these traditions, and go to new places, new spaces. Okay? So that's the first thing you need to have. Okay? أعطيكم مثال بسيط. أردت أن أميز بين مستويات التفكير الثلاث. التفكير البسيط والتفكير الناقد والتفكير الإبداعي. أنا عادة لا أريد أن أعطي الناس شيئا ولا أبذل جهد فيه ذاتي. Okay? I always want to walk the talk, right? To teach what I preach. فحاولت جلست مع نفسي قلت كيف يمكنني أن أنتج analogy أو تشبيه يفرق بين المستويات الثلاث في التفكير. فأخذت قلت مثلا the family analogy. The family analogy. العائلة، نعرف العائلة صح؟ الثلاث أشخاص الأساسيين في العائلة هم الطفل أو البيبي، الأم والأب. لنأخذ مستويات التفكير الثلاث. بالنسبة لي for analogy أخذت البيبي وقلت هذا تفكيره بسيط. فهذا يمثل عندي تفكير بسيط. لماذا؟ لأنه احتياجاته بسيطة. فقط يريد he needs to be fed, he needs to be taken care of, to stay dry and safe and everything. And also the communication, the language for the baby is very, very basic. Huh? What do? Babies, what do? They cry, or sometimes they giggle, they smile, yeah? They don't always cry. This is the simple communication they have. So for me, a baby represents basic, simple thinking. Now we go to the big problem. Who's going to take the creative thinking? Who's going to take the critical thinking? The mom or the dad? Yeah. Critical thinking, التفكير الناقد. For my analogy, I gave critical thinking to the mom. Please don't get angry if, yeah? I said the mom has more critical thinking. Why? لأنه هناك خصائص للتفكير الناقد. أن يكون الإنسان يدقق في الشيء، يسأل كثيرا، ينظر للشيء من جوانب كثيرة. والأمهات والزوجات عادة they are very good at this. They know what questions to ask. وأهم شيء they know when to ask. Yeah? And this happens to me. Sometimes when I'm not ready for anything, boom, the question comes. And I'm not ready, I'm defenseless. See? So mothers are like that. For me, for the sake of analogy, they take the critical thinking part. Let's go to creative thinking. Of course, I'm not saying that ladies are not, but just for the sake of it. Creative thinking is given to the dad. Why? Let's go to going outside the box. Who goes outside the box most often? يطلع من العلبة من البيت ويسافر ويروح things. Who does this? The man. In this culture, at least the man. To be a creative thinker, creative thinker, we'll see later, have to be playful. تحب اللعب والthings. ذكرنا قبلها ما هي الصفة الأولى؟ الجرأة, right? Who has more daring? The dad or the mom? Honestly, the dad. Who can take the baby and plays with the baby like this, and then he holds the baby? The mom or the dad? The dad. And the mom said, please, he's going to fall, etc. So this analogy gives me the distinction between the three levels of thinking: basic, critical, and creative. Analogizing in your speech, in your thinking, in your communication, in your writing is good. أذكر في الثانوي طلب منا الأستاذ أن نكتب يعني essay عن العلاقة بين المدرسة والمصنع. هذه حقيقة. فوقتها لا أدري، قلت أحاول أن أكون نوعا ما خارج المعتاد. I use an analogy. قلت المصنع هو العصا والمدرسة هي الشيخ. وقلت الشيخ لا يستطيع أن يمشي بدون العصا، الشيخ الكبير، والعصا لا قيمة لها إذا لم يستخدمها الشيخ. أذكر أستاذي كتب لي عبارة لا أنساها في حياتي. لا يعني أحيانا the critical thinking هذه احنا نتكلم اليوم على creative thinking. Critical thinking is positive thinking. كيف نزرع في أنفسنا وفي من معنا التفكير الإيجابي والتحفيز. فكتب لي عبارة قال بثلاث كلمات: لك مستقبل أدبي. لن أنساها. He gave me the confidence. If my teacher is saying this about me, then I can do it. And he stayed with me. Humor and playfulness. You have to be like a child. You like to play. You like to laugh. You like to make people around you happy. That's also a sign of a creative person. Don't be dry. Yeah? Okay? Even in communication, you have to inject some humor. And we give the example of a child, because children they're difficult. They ask all types of questions. There is a child who went to her mom, and she asked, "Mom, where do we come from?" Yeah, very innocent question, right? The mom said, "Well, honey, we come from God, from Adam and Eve, and they had children, and then the children had children, and on until we came." The child went to her dad. She asked the same question. "Dad, where do we come from?" Like, this is not here yet, this is from... He said, "Well, many years ago there were monkeys and apes, and they developed, and they evolved, and they became more intelligent, and had children, they were even more intelligent, slowly, until we came." The child went back to her mom and said, "Mom, I'm confused. What is this? Is this God and Adam and Eve, or is it the monkeys and the apes?" And she said, "Honey, he's talking about his family." Right? So I'm using this to make you laugh, because laughter and being a humorist is part of being creative. Yeah? So try to have this in your life. Be a happy person, because that's positive. Yeah? Be playful. Try to coin or to improvise jokes sometimes. Why not? That's also part of being creative. To study how to become creative. And one of the things you can study is TRIZ, all right? And this is a theory developed by a Russian, and it has 30 principles. You need to study them to become creative. I'll give you just 2 or 3. One of the problems, if, for example, they call segmentation. If something is too difficult to deal with, you take it into parts. Yeah. There's another one, nesting. You can put something like the chairs. You know the chairs? The smaller one, then the middle one, then the bigger one, so that you gain space. And there's what we call also local quality. You have something, but you add another feature to it. And I have in the box an example. You see this? This is a cap. What does it do? Gives you shade, right? But then what they added? A fan. So that you get. So this is called local quality. It means you can think of what you have and make it do something extra, so that you make better use of it. Okay? This is, and there are 30 principles which you need to study. If you know them, that develops your creative thinking. Okay. Now the last thing is, what is this? Your head, yeah? We said we took the head out of, or your brain out of the box. Yeah? My advice to you is, make sure you go back to the box. Otherwise, what's going to happen? You're going to go crazy. Usually, you're allowed to go outside the box for a fraction of seconds, but then make sure you go back to the box to keep your sanity and you don't go crazy. Thank you very much.